In the land of Canaan, among tents and tears, a boy was chosen, not by the will of men, but by the dream of God. Through betrayal, prison, and palace, one life would shape a nation's survival. This is the story of Joseph, the dreamer, and the providence that guided him.
Time moved forward, and the patriarchs passed from the stage. Isaac was laid to rest beside his fathers, and Jacob, now Israel, returned to the land of promise. At Bethel, God spoke again. A nation and a company of nations shall be of thee. Kings shall come out of thy loins. But even in promise, sorrow walked beside him. Rachel, his beloved, was buried on the road to Ephrath. And so he turned to his sons, 12 in number. But one stood apart. Joseph, 17 years old, a shepherd's son, but clothed as a prince. His father loved him above all and gave him a coat, woven in many colors, like a banner of favor. But Joseph dreamed dreams of sheaves in the field, bowing to his sheaf of stars, the sun, and the moon, all making obeisance, and his brothers hated him. For the coat, for the dreams, for the favor they never knew. One day Joseph went out to seek his brothers in the fields near Shechem, and they saw him afar off. Behold, this dreamer cometh. Their hearts burned with envy, and their hands plotted evil. They stripped the coat from him, cast him into a pit. And when a caravan passed by, they sold him 20 pieces of silver, the price of a brother's blood. And Jacob, upon seeing the torn and bloodied coat, wept until his soul sank to the dust. In Egypt, Joseph was sold into the house of Potiphar, captain of Pharaoh's guard. But though he was a stranger in a strange land, the Lord was with him. All that Joseph touched prospered, and Potiphar set him over his house. But beauty brought temptation, and Potiphar's wife cast her eyes upon him. He fled, righteous but accused, and into the prison he was cast. Even in chains, the light within Joseph did not dim. 2 royal servants joined him, one a butler, the other a baker. Each with a troubling dream, Joseph listened and said, "Do not interpretations belong to God?" To the butler, "In 3 days you shall be restored to the baker. In 3 days you shall be hanged," and it came to pass. But the butler forgot Joseph. 2 years passed, and Pharaoh dreamed. 7 fat cows, devoured by 7 lean, 7 full ears of corn, swallowed by withered ones. None could tell him the meaning. Then the butler remembered. A Hebrew youth in prison, Joseph, was brought forth, shaved and robed. And Pharaoh said, "I have heard you can interpret dreams," Joseph answered. "It is not in me. But God shall give Pharaoh an answer of peace." Joseph spoke, 7 years of great plenty shall come, and after, 7 years of famine shall consume the land. Pharaoh asked, "Who is as wise and discerning as this man?" And he placed Joseph over all Egypt. Robed in linen, given a ring, and seated in the second chariot. And Joseph gathered the grain in barns, while the land was fat and full. The 7 years of plenty passed, and the earth groaned with hunger. But in Egypt there was bread, and all the world came to buy grain. Among them were 10 weary brothers, sons of Jacob. Unknowing, they bowed before the very dream they once despised. What man meant for evil, God was weaving for good. Joseph, once cast out, now held the key to life itself. But the test was not over, for the heart of forgiveness is deeper than famine, and reconciliation costs more than grain. Next time, the family reunited, the final chapter of tears, truth, and the rise of a nation.